Hi, it's Paulette. Welcome to my channel. I don't know, maybe I should say something different, but yeah, that's what I've been saying. My goofiness. Um, so I woke up this morning wanting to do a video, and I had a very, very, very rough day yesterday. But today is May 23rd, 2026, which is a Tuesday. And I find it interesting that my 29th video actually adds up to a 2, because 2 and 9 is 11, and then 11 adds up to 2. And then it's even more ironic that when I was looking up 2, it symbolizes union, partnership, and testimony, which is kind of what I want to talk about also in the video, like a testimony, not that I have one, but I wanted to bring that up. But it talks about how, like, the unity of, like, marriage and or God's spirit, the spirit of God and a believer, so they come together and become one and to establish divine truth. And what else was there? Oh, so like the Adam and Eve, story, the one flesh. And then of course the testaments. There's the old covenant and the new covenant. They're both really combined to make the whole, obviously the whole Bible. But also oh, let's see here. I'm kind of going to be all over the place here because I don't have a clear thought process on this. I'm just winging it. That's what I do. So 2 also represents separation, a crossroads, or duality. It reminds the believers of the fundamental choices of life, good and evil, which I was bringing up to my one daughter. Them saying that you got the devil on one shoulder and the angel on the other, and she's like, I don't know anything about that. I'm like, yeah, I find it fascinating how I've been bringing up the Bible to her, and I know she's not liking it, but I'm not pushing it on it. I'm just using it as reference. So I'm planting my seed. And then God's path versus the world's path. And I find that very fascinating due to the fact of where I'm at. I'm choosing God's way instead of what, I'm getting emotional about it because there's just so much. It's creating a lot of turmoil in my life because I'm choosing the way that I'm going. And others in my life are not liking that at all. But I'm not really voicing because I don't want argument. And yeah, I don't want argument, so I say little. I say enough for them just to understand. But yeah, my one daughter thinks I've given up. In a sense, I have, but not to the sense that she's referring. I'm giving up trying to do things my way and letting God more so. Oh, I'm choking up. Letting God more so lead me, which is, it's so hard because, hey, I'm 60. I you don't just change overnight. But God has actually, I honestly feel everything is working in divine order. Not that I understand it. Not that I would choose this way. But if anyone has read the Bible, heard the Bible, know parts of the Bible, God's way, you're just like, whoa, that's harsh. And it is. And but he gets the job done. And we've been put in a broken world. I mean, it's ruled by Satan, you know. You have to read the Bible to really understand that, than to just have people tell you that because bad things happen. You have to understand the true meaning behind everything. And it does blow me away. I'm just I'm going this route. It truly blows my mind. But as it's been proven in the Bible, God uses the broken. Not to say that I was broken, but I guess he uses people that you wouldn't think he's going to use. But like I was telling my one daughter, when I was a kid, and I can even remember where I was sitting, and I find that I said it has to have meaning. If I can remember something from long time ago, it had to have some form of meaning to me, because I really don't remember too much of my childhood, especially something that I felt, or yeah, that, well, I guess I can't say that because some people do remember. But what I wanted to say is that I remember sitting in the grass and I was looking up at the clouds. Maybe, hey, now I'm thinking about looking up at the clouds because I was a cloud watcher, hey, I was born in 65. So, you were outside doing stuff. And so you had to fill your time with something. Now, nowadays everybody's filling their time with, like I feel my, I don't want to get sidetracked, but, yeah, to do their little social events, or, people are into gaming. Like, I'm only doing my game to kind of now keep my mind off of stuff. And plus, I just feel like I'm still not at a spot where I can do anything. And I guess not having a home is not changing anything, but it's at least changing something in my life. But I think I got totally sidetracked on this. But yeah, and it also in the Bible it warns against serving two masters. In Matthew 6:24, emphasizing that there is a stark division between light and darkness, which is the good and evil, which is God's way or the world way. Because, like I said, you have to remember how you were taught, and we were taught most likely, I would say, majority of people, the worldly path. And the more that I'm going through all this, that's not the way. God's way is the way. So, to get back to my number 29. So Jeremiah 29, God's plan. Oh, here. Didn't even know this is what I was going to say. God's plan to give believers a hope and future, which, ironically, is, yeah, Jeremiah 29:11. Yeah, isn't that ironic? God damn, check that out. You know, the 11, which is the 2, the 29. Of course, I'm doing the number 29, but yeah, that's just fascinating that, see, someone else, I was watching a video, and how everything in this world that was created by God, plants, um, it's it's all, it's got geometry all through it, and God speaks to me through numbers, and yeah, He speaks to me through numbers, and He speaks to everybody differently. Numbers stick out to me. But yeah, so God's plan to give believers a hope and a future. And then Proverbs 29 focuses on wisdom, discipline, and contrast between righteous, here, now we're getting back to the twos, the righteous and wicked rulers. So I guess righteous would be God's way. The wicked rulers would be the earthly ways. So, you know, I find this all very fascinating. I hope people catch on to this. That's why, you know, you need to slow down in life and pay attention to what you're seeing, because you're getting signs. If you have a question in your mind, you're getting an answer, but you gotta pay attention. And the best example that I'm going to give you was a video that I watched recently. It was about a police officer. He said that I don't know, somebody's child was missing. And he said that he was going to find this child. I forget how old the child was, but I believe he was very young. And I couldn't even tell you what year it was. But anyways, he was very young. And when he left, he said, "Oh my, I promised him that I would find him." So he said to God, "God, what am I going to do? I told this father that I was definitely going to find his son." And I guess he had pulled over on the road. And yeah, he said he felt troubled because he guaranteed this father that he was going to find his son. And so he was speaking to God, and he said, "What am I going to do? Because show me the way. What do I need to do? Show me what it is that I can do to find him." And he said at that moment, a car pulled up beside him, which is so mind-blowing, that it was like so instantaneous. And I'm thinking, you know, well, I'm not going to get sidetracked. So it was so instantaneous that he got his answer. He looked at this person in this car, and the person was alone in the car, but he said he instantly got a sick feeling in his stomach. And he didn't understand what that meant, but then he put 2 and 2 together, and he said, "I asked God, you know, how do I show me?" And then that happened. And he needed to act on it. He needed to understand that sick feeling in his stomach, he needed to act on that. So he had the guy, I guess he pulled the guy over, and he asked the guy to open up his trunk. And the guy's like, "Why?" He says, "Open up your trunk." And so the guy opened up his trunk, and the boy was in there. And that's so fascinating, that that happen, and people think those things are coincidences, just like my children think things are coincidences. And like my one daughter the other day was wanting donuts. She had a thought she wanted donuts, and she didn't go get donuts, but my other daughter brought donuts home as a surprise. And they're like, oh, that's just coincidence. And and then, because we're packing up stuff, there was another coincidence that happened, but this is the most recent one. Was last night I was thinking, oh, I need to have my daughter pack up all the spices and stuff and have her take those with her to where she's moving to, because it's all a secret. She has not told me where she's going. But anyway, which, it's all good. So I see the box in the kitchen this morning, and this morning she packaged up all the spices and stuff and put it in a box. And so she was getting ready for work, and I said to her, I said, that's pretty funny. I said, I was thinking that you needed to pack up the spices and stuff and take it. And then she said, and she thinks a lot like me. She doesn't think, coincidences are coincidences. But she says, yeah, I thought of that last night. I said, now, wouldn't that be funny if we thought of that at the same time? She goes, yes, it would. So, I had mentioned to my two other daughters that, thoughts are energy. And my scientific daughter is like, yeah, but not in the way you think it is. And I'm like, okay. And if you're closed-minded to these things, you're not going to see it. You have to be open-minded. And I am so open-minded. That's how I think I started on this. And what really started me on this, I'm getting so sidetracked, but hey, it's all fun, and thank you for being here. I appreciate it. If you're here and you stay here, oh, God bless you. God bless you. You're gonna go far. I promise you that. And yes, I promise you that, because God is behind all things. So, what started me on this whole journey way back, and this goes back to like a testimony, and I really think all these videos is going to be a testimony. I 100% believe that, because I believe in my good Lord, because there's no explanation behind what I'm doing. It's not something that I would have done. My one friend, and I'll say one friend, because basically that's what I have, because I have isolated myself, and that's another thing that I want to talk about. But to explain why I got on this whole journey was the number 414. I noticed that number has followed me around. First of all, that's the area code of where I was born. Not to say that I noticed it then, but it was a number in my life. And so you got to put all the puzzle. That's why I love puzzles. I love mysteries. I used to watch the murder trials because I like, but now I can't do that because of what I'm doing. It kind of absorbs into my energy, and I get up, it kind of troubles my spirit to see such evilness, but I understand why. I mean, obviously, Satan got a hold of them, got into their minds. It's not their fault, and that's back to my I think it was my Friday the 13th video, Blame Someone Else Day. I think that was February 13th. Blame someone else, and yeah, Satan. And maybe that's why my daughter thinks I'm playing victim, because I'm not taking responsibility, but I'm not blaming anyone. It's just what's going on. But anyway, so 414. So I wrote that down because I was listening to a video at the same time as because I listen to videos and I play my little game. And I think, what am I going to do? And I have thought about this multiple times. What am I going to do? Because that does suck up my time, because I have nothing else to do. Yeah, and then it was down yesterday morning when I was really being attacked emotionally. Satan was trying to get at me really bad yesterday. And because my youngest daughter, she came home from college, and she knew back in March, because she was here at the time that I got the message that the house was going to be sold. And so she knew that she needed to pack up all her stuff. So she packed up, and she's gone off to Connecticut to do an internship for her school program that she's in. She has to work for someone, I think, for 2 semesters. Yeah, I think it's 2 terms, whatever. Whatever they call it. But I think because she starts on Tuesday, and then she's working through, I think, September, and then she'll pick up school again. So whatever that works out to, I don't know. But so it was really hard because I don't know when I'm going to see her again. And I'm a little choked up now, but not as bad as I was yesterday. And I think if you're not a mom, you don't know how deep that hurts. Even though, because, well, like when she went off to college, I did that video way back when she first went off to college. I did a video on that, and it really tore me up. But I wasn't losing my home at the time. I was just, she was just leaving home for the first time. And it doesn't matter how many children you have. Each one hits you differently. And I guess depends upon what they're doing and how it hits you. But it's not that I stop anybody from growing, because you need adventures. You need to do all that. This is going to be a super long video. And I hope my friend watches the entire thing, because I'm going to quiz you. Just kidding. But it really hit me that she was leaving. And my one daughter, she's my second oldest, and she's the one that thinks a lot like me, but she thinks I'm playing victim, and I think she thinks I'm playing victim because I'm not doing what she wants. I'm not doing what they want me to do. They want me to go into I'm not going into a shelter unless God tells me to go into a shelter. I'm not going into a shelter. That has not even crossed my mind. And if it hasn't even crossed my mind, God's not telling me to do that. I don't know what's going to happen. But, there's a lot of emotions going on through this whole thing. But get back to the 414. So it started out with my family home. And then there was a number when I worked, 414 popped up, and for the life of me, I can't remember what it is, but I do remember that's the second time it popped up to me when I was working at GE. There was a number that was associated with me that was 414. Not that I've seen it. It was associated with me, but I can't remember what it was. And then when decades later, I'm talking decades later, I got a job here at a Walmart. Which was one of the things that I said I wanted to do. I mentioned these things that I felt that, I can't say I manifested them. That's not, no, God put that in me. God put that in me. God put that, we need to stop thinking that we're doing this. No, God is leading us. So God wanted me to work at a Walmart at one point. That was my employee number, 414. And that's when it dawned on me. Oh my gosh, threes. Oh my gosh, threes. That was, the answer comes in threes. I'm going to choke up. And then I found, oh my God, I'm sorry. That just dawned on me. And then my one friend, her phone number has 414 in it. And confirmation. My answer comes in threes. I get confirmed by the fourth. So my apologies again. But that really just hit me now. That revelation. So, yeah. So I really feel that God is truly guiding me. Not that I understand anything. Not that I'm anyone special. But if you're paying attention, God will guide you too. If you need guidance, and I can't say if you're watching this, you have to have guidance. You need guidance. You could be perfectly right where you need to be. Yeah. But yeah. So let's get back to the number 29. It outlines I hate this word. I have a hard time saying it because I used to have a lisp when I was a little kid. So it's real hard for me to say this particular word. I always say specific, but it's specific. I gotta slow it down. Specific offerings. So it outlines the specific offerings the Israelites were commanded to bring during the sacred 7th month, and which is the Feast of Trumpets, the Day of Atonement, and the Feast of Tabernacles. So I thought, I didn't know what any of this is, so I thought I would figure out what these feasts and atonement days were. So the Feast of Trumpets, and I really find this to be fascinating as well, because it's coming up, and these days are coming up. So the Feast of Trumpets starts at sunset on 9/11 through 9/13 at nightfall. It points prophetically to the return of Jesus. Not to say that he's coming back, but who knows? We don't know the time, the day, or the hour. That was in Matthew 24:31. It marks the beginning of the 10 days of consecration. Consecration, is that how you say it? And repentance before God, to remember and praise him. So it was, the consecration was making holy and or set apart. So it was to, I guess, I don't know how to say that, to consecrate, to bind it, and make it, I guess, hey man, make it one, the choose. So a Day of Atonement is September 20th through 9/21 at nightfall, and it's a 25-hour fast, intense prayer and no work, holiest day in Judaism, which I struggle with this intense prayer because I pray, but it's not like I pray intensely. But you know what? I gotta get off of thinking I gotta be like others, and pray like them. And you hear these people that pray for hours. I'm like, how does one do that? How do you have that much to say? Could it be prayer is just sitting with him? Because I guess I would be praying all the time too, because I listen to the Bible. I'm on my second time around, and I'm over I did all of the Old Testament, and I'm about halfway through the New Testament, and the New Testament's not as long as the First Testament, because there was just so much, the New Testament, or the Old Testament, sorry, because there was just so much going on. But yeah, so they want you to fast for 25 hours, no eat or drink. I mean, I fasted, but I drank water. So it's no eat or drink, no bath or lotions, no leather shoes. I guess, I don't know. I guess you're supposed to walk barefoot? I don't know. I guess so, because you know what? This was something that was back in the Bible, and they didn't have like other types. They didn't have plastics or anything other than probably leather from the animal hides. You know what I'm saying? So I guess you're supposed to go around shoeless. And no marital relations if you're married. I don't have to worry about that. And no labor. And I guess I don't have to, well, yeah, I can't say I can't worry about that, because you're not supposed to do any type of work. Like, don't do your laundry, no type of labor. Yeah. And then the Feast of Tabernacles. These were the 3 days that were in Numbers 29. The Feast of Tabernacles, which is, a tabernacle is a booth or shelter, if you don't know what a tabernacle is. But the dates are September 25th through October 2nd, 7 days. It commemorates the 40 years that Israelites spent wandering in the desert, serves as joyous celebration in fall harvest. So I just and before I even wrote this out, I was listening to another. I love these near-death experiences because, they go and meet Jesus and they speak to Jesus, and Jesus gives them wisdom, and their wisdom is not, they're supposed to come back into testify, because Jesus loves everybody and he wants everybody to come to heaven. And so they share these stories to bring these non-believers to him. So she's planting seeds. She's planting seeds. So even if you listen to it and you're a non-believer, something might stick out to you. Not to say I'm not a non-believer, but what stuck out to me in this one video was she said he showed her the, I'm forgetting the name. I think it's called the menorah. It's the Jewish candle holder, I guess, for 7 candles. And I guess it was proving, trying to think what year it was that she had her near-death experience. I think it was 2019, 2020, maybe 2016. I watched so many, but it was somewhere in that time frame. But she did this video in 2024. So I'm going to clue you in. So he was showing her the hour of where the earth was currently at this time before his return. And so there was the 4 candles. And then she said she realizes, and I didn't know this until I listened to this video. That's why you got to be paying attention to what you're experiencing in life, or you don't connect the dots and you don't get your message. So when she was shown the menorah, it had 4 candles. I think you light them. I'm not 100% sure. I think you light them all until you get, I don't know the whole process. Sorry. Someone can do some research on that. I'm sure there's some meaning to all of this. But for me, at this point, what I wanted to note was the last 3. She said, and she says, and they have meaning. She said they have meaning. And she said, I didn't know the candles for each day had meaning. And she said the last 3 candles were at the Feast of Trumpets, Day of Atonement, and the Feast of Tabernacles. And that just blew my mind because I was working on that for this video. And I was like, wow. So those were the 3 candles that weren't lit at that time. And like I said, I forget what year it was that she had this experience. But she did the video with this podcaster in 2024. So she said she knows the time is much closer now because those 4 candles were already lit. So she says we have to be so much closer now. And now time has passed since she's done that video. So we're even closer. Like I said, this, I think he's working through me. I'm not 100% sure that is me thinking so, believing so. That's why the 414, it stuck out to me when I researched it for such a time like this. And I'm like, because I feel time is short. And I felt time was short because of what I'm going through. But as I do these videos, I'm seeing how it really kind of relates to me and what's going on in my life, but also, outer circumstances not relating to me. And I've seen videos where people feel the same way that I do. So, and not everybody, and you're like, maybe you're thinking, oh, I don't feel that way. But, these videos are to show you, and not to say that I'm saying something's definitely going to happen. But these videos are to maybe more awaken you. And, hopefully I get more of a bigger following. I don't know. That would be my wish, God. That is my desire. I get more of a following. Because I really think he is working through me. I do feel time is short. And I also wrote that I feel like he erased my ideas. Because like I said, I feel like my mind is blank. I have no more thoughts of what I can do to get out of this situation. Yeah, and I recently had mentioned to my friend, which she says she watches the whole videos. We'll see. We'll see. But because she doesn't have patience for, she said something that's longer than 3 minutes, but she says she watches it, so I don't know. I have to take her at her word, right? So, so like she was upset with my daughters, my two oldest, who I've helped the most, that they're not doing something for me. And she said she would never leave her mom homeless. And in a way, I'm not heartbroken at all. I'm not understanding what's going on. That's where it comes from. The lack of my earthly understanding. I got to think more like God. Like I really feel God does not let anything happen to you that is not meant for good. Like it's stated, what was meant for evil, he uses for good. Not to say that it was evil, but to put that into terminology. Maybe some earthly person might think this was meant for bad, but he's turning it into good, and I really have faith in that. Not to know what's going to happen, because today's the 23rd, and I have 8 days left. 8 days. Oh my gosh, 8 days. So, 8 in biblical terms is, because God created the earth in 7 days, so it's an added on bonus. I just, I really wish I could see the future because we like to see that. But, I like surprises too. I love surprises. So, yeah. So I really feel that he erased my ideas. Because I really feel this was supposed to happen earlier. And I chickened out. Back in 2016, I had left Walmart because and this is something else that this person that talked about in her near-death experience about the menorah and stuff. She said God told her to pay attention to patterns. And I'm like, oh, I noticed a pattern in my life. And it was related to my jobs. It was nothing that I did that ended my jobs. Yeah. Other than like when I left my one job, well, oh my gosh. Epiphanies. Because everything happens for a reason. So my traumatic experience that I had where a gun was going to be put upon me to end my life, the phone was kicked. I was on a landline. Thank God for the landline. Because this was back in 2000. Yeah, back in 2000. And my husband at the time came home because I was in a horrible marriage. And I was wanting to leave him. And this is going to be a super long video, so I hope everybody stays. But I want to say all this, so thank you for staying. Yeah, because testimony. Because this was funny. This most recent video that I was watching about a near-death experience. She was supposed to write a book about her near-death experience. But she was a book writer. And she said her angel told her that she needed to write her book. And I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, please, Lord, don't make me write a book. My friend wants me to write a book. And I'm like, I am not writing a book. I don't read books. And then I'm going to write a book? I mean, no. Because obviously I would have to go through it after I wrote it. I'm not going to read it. No, I am not. I wouldn't even read my own book. I would listen to my own book, but I would not read my own book. So you want me to write it? No way. And then it popped into my head, my videos. I'm like, wow. Yeah. My testimony. Not that I have anything really testifying to this erratic, great ending. Because, like my friend said, hey friend, she says not all books have happy endings. I'm like, oh hell no, my book is gonna have a happy ending. There is no ands, ifs about it. My book is gonna have a happy ending. So my book, my testimony ends happily. Yeah, Cinderella, happily ever after. Not with a person necessarily. Oh, with Jesus, I guess. But yeah, it ends happy. It ends happy. I feel happy. Even though, like I said yesterday, it was super hard. Like I mentioned to my daughter, my oldest daughter, that because I have to get rid of everything. Everything. And that doesn't bother me because it's just stuff. Like lamps, tables, it's just stuff. Um, and what's devastating is that I thought that, but you know what? Nothing's yours. Nothing's yours. Everything is given by God. God allowed you to have that. And He did. He allowed me to live here. Woo! It would have been 11 years. I think I did the calculation on how long it would be before, oh, it's 212, before it's my last day here, to see if there was any relevance. And I don't remember if there was any, to be honest with you. Let me see, what day was that I did that? I think I took a screenshot of the days. Let me see. I'm not seeing it offhand, so sorry. Wait, no, here it is. So, it would have been exactly, because we moved in here October 1st, 2015. And my last day here would be Sunday, the 31st, 2026. So that's 10 years and 8 months, or 3,896 days. I didn't add any of this up because I wasn't really guided to. But it's 128 months as well. So, well, 556 weeks in 4 days. That stands out to me, but I don't know why right now, but that stands out to me. But yeah, that's so. And then, so I remember saying at one point, so like I said, I chickened out. So 2016 was when I basically decided to leave Walmart because, well, first of all, they eliminated my job, my position. They wanted me to find another job there, and I wasn't feeling it anymore. And that was God putting it on my heart. I wasn't feeling it anymore. I had been there for, long time. I think it was over 10 years, because I know I got a certificate for 10 years. But not all of it was full-time. A lot of it was part-time. But yeah, He put it on my heart to leave there. So I did. So what transpired was I took time off. I was going to take time off to begin with because my grandson was having major surgery. He was having they were doing something with his, I think they call it cranioscopy or something like that, where they actually remove the skull, they rebuild it because it wasn't forming properly. And then they rebuild it, and then they put it back. And he was young. I think he was born in, he was born in December of 2015. So I think he was under 1. Yeah, he was under 1 when he had this surgery. So I wanted to take time off because my daughter, oh my gosh, 54 minutes, 26 seconds. But I'm telling it. She was a young mom. She was 18 when she got pregnant. So, and other things. But, so I wanted to help her. So I was taking a family leave anyway. And so, so my last day of actual employment was my oldest daughter's birthday, which that's just so funny. um, yeah, it's just funny how things match up. But yeah, so and my father had passed away, and so I had that money. Plus, I was getting a severance package from Walmart, and then I had, oh my God, I had so much because I was work. Did not take my sick days, did not. I had all this accumulated time up. And even when I used that time, because I forget when I actually started my family leave, because it was before November, when it was right after Thanksgiving, but was my official last day. And I don't know if it was September, maybe it might have been September that I left, and I I was starting to use after, so I could use that instead of lose it, because if you don't use it, you lose it. So I was using that for like a paycheck. So I got the severance, I got the money from my father, I got and then at the end, I still had so much because like I said, I was work, because that's how I was raised. Work. So I like cashed that out, and I had like this money, but I said to God, not that I was in the Bible, anything. You can talk to God, Jesus, even though you're not like into the Bible and all that, and He still hears you. He still hears you, because he wants you to come to Him. I said I don't want to have to worry about not having enough money. So yeah, I said that, I think, when I started working at the appliance place that I got. And as they say, you should never apply to the same job more than once. But like I said, I was chicken. Had the fear in me, which is not good. You don't go by fear. And I was fearing. I wasn't believing and trusting in God to carry me through. Even though I still had money, obviously I had the money that I went through this time around, but I could have done that back then, but I chickened out. I didn't want to do that. And I don't know if it's because my two youngest daughters were still with me. And I wanted to make sure that I was able to take care of them until at least they graduated. And oh my gosh, oh Paulette, till they graduated. So, oh my gosh. So, yeah. So, oh, I'm sorry. These epiphanies are freaking me out. They really are freaking me out, because I'm realizing things as I say them to you, because I've never thought them really before. But basically, so my youngest, Alexis, she graduated from high school in what year was that? 2024? Yeah, 2024. So it's been 2 years. And so then she went off to college. And so my last day of employment before all this started with me was, like I said, September 23rd, 2020. Was it 2022 or 23? I'm thinking it might have been 20. I'm so sorry. This is like an hour long video. But you know what? I don't care because I want to say my testimony. I want this to be part of my testimony because it is part of the story. And let me get to my Google. My Google. What do I want? I want my Google Docs so I can look at my resume to find out. It was either 2022 or 2023. But when I lost my job, when it ended, I actually said that I could not stand it. It was September 2022. So it was like 2 years. 2 years before, well, not really, because school ends in June. But it was 2 years prior. But at that time, I I hated that job because it was so against my morals. I should have left week 2, I think. I think it was the second weekend. Because it's not into me to lie. And if I'm forced to lie, it's written all over me that I'm lying. You will instantly know I'm lying. And so when I got